I am Dominic Izzo. I was a cop. This is Changing Cop Culture, and these videos are meant to be done in a critique of law enforcement, either use of force, police shootings, or just general stuff the public doesn't understand. The purpose of this channel is to educate both the public and the police, because let's just not mince words here. Half the public thinks all they have to do is watch a First Amendment auditor channel, and they know exactly what to go espouse. This case law does this case law does that, and sadly, so a lot of the cops out there forgot what the fuck their job is in the first place and how to wind up honoring the Constitution. So this channel, it's not picking a side. This channel is on the side of the relationship between the police and the public, and it's changing cop culture for both cops to return to the passion and professionalism of their job, and it's to wind up educating the public, because you guys have no fucking clue what you're talking about a lot of the times, and it's my point to wind up helping you out. Do not forget, we go live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central. That's 10 Eastern, where we do Q&A interaction. You guys can call in and ask questions. Let's have a conversation about this one today. This is on June 22nd, 2024. A Fort Wayne police officer, that's Indiana, conducted a traffic stop at approximately 10:31 p.m. near the intersection of John Street and Hurd Street. The stopped vehicle was occupied by two adult males. The following events, these are the following events that took place.
Removed from the vehicle, and the suspect's gun, a Draco AK.
I don't want that. Okay, I don't want to hear that. I want to watch this together, so we automatically know that it's a suspect's gun. I haven't seen this video yet, but we're going to take a look at this together. So I'm going to turn the volume off, because I want to look. Whenever I look at these body cam videos, I look at them with the same like knee-jerk reaction lens that you do. I try not to get any information first. I don't want to do a video that's well prepped, because then I'm going to form a bias, and I don't want that. I believe that we do need an armchair quarterback in law enforcement. I think, sadly, I don't know why you guys just don't do that anymore. I do not know why that you think it's such a bad idea to armchair quarterback your brothers and sisters out there. Maybe if more law enforcement went out there and actually armchair quarterbacked, maybe we'd get more stuff done that actually, you'd thicken your skins and you'd not be worried about being pressure tested and criticized amongst your peers. And maybe if the public saw that, they'd support you more, and maybe they'd get a little bit more educated too. Maybe the public would be like, oh, you mean cops don't just randomly go out and shoot unarmed black men and women? If you want to change the culture, you got to start by changing yourselves. All right, so let's watch this. Let's watch this together as it unfolds. The body cameras.
Specialty units. Per policy, they are warned in training and manufacturing standards.
All right, so that's looks like a Motorola body camera. Just to let you know, too, body cameras, there's a lot of caveats to body cameras. Number one, when we went to look for our body cameras for our department, I guess one of the things that was taken into consideration was, does it compensate for low light conditions? And that's not something the department wanted. And at first I was like, yeah, don't we? And then it made sense to me when it was, well, the issue is if things go to a jury, and I'm not defending, but I am defending, okay? Because I know that every time you place a little bit of evidence to the public likes to go, oh, this is how the police fucking cheat and break the law. No, it's not. And you have to calm your tits when it comes down to law enforcement shit and constantly thinking that the cops are out to screw you 24/7. Yes, I know that the one bad apple doesn't spoil a bunch shit has turned into a rotten orchard, but that's what the point of this is. Together we could change the culture. But I digress. When it comes down to the body cameras, if a human eye can't compensate for low light conditions, and a cop is on 123 Main Street at 2 a.m., and offender A has a weapon in their hands, or excuse me, an object in their hands that appears to be a weapon from the officer's visual viewpoint based on proximity, lighting conditions, training and experience, and the officer sees that subject raise the object and point it in the officer's direction, and the officer, having all the objectively reasonableness to believe that it's a weapon, chooses to use deadly force to protect themselves, preserve life anywhere around that's in the proximity of a weapon being fired off. You get where I'm going with this, right? And then they fire rounds, they use deadly force, the subject is injured or killed, and then the body camera in the court evidence, because it compensated for low light conditions, says, oh, that was a cell phone. Well, the officer clearly killed the person over a cell phone. That's how the public fucks this up, by not understanding. But is that how the human eye works? So it's not fair. So does that make sense what I'm trying to convey to you? If the body camera does the work that the human eye did or doesn't do, then why are we holding those officers to that standard? You shouldn't be. And these are some of the caveats that I want to educate the public with, right? These are things that you should be sitting there saying, all right, yeah, I need to be a little bit more reasonable and fair in my criticism of what cops experience. So that's one of the things with body cameras. Just giving you an eye on that. Let's continue. I'm going to move this forward. Body cameras engaged, and let's continue with this.
Incidents that happen suddenly when the officer may not have time to immediately activate the camera.
Body cameras do record video only. And between some departments have a 30-second or a 60-second cycle, no audio. So that means if I get out of my car, start running to something, and then 60 seconds later say, shit, I forgot to hit record, and I hit record, it's going to have stored the previous 60 seconds, if that's the setting for the department, on their video only, no audio. So this clearly is audio and video. I'm not aware of what the traffic stop was. I hate using the word assume. So let's put into play that this was a lawful traffic stop that the officer did engage the vehicle with. All right, first thing first, he's coming up passenger side. I don't want to break this down so much bit by bit. I did this later in my career, probably the last 3-4 years of my career. Passenger side, in my opinion, is a fantastic position. I do like to switch them up every now and then, not that I would pull over the same cars. So when some people are like, well, you're doing it for myself. I was always keeping myself a little bit more lack of getting complacent in my tactics. Passenger side approach does offer some superior positions because a lot of people do believe that a driver's side approach is a little bit more common. If you have your spotlight, if you're only a one man car, and you got your spotlight directly either on the rear view mirror or the passenger or the driver's side mirror, which I used to shine mine in the driver's side mirror, and then the takedown lights into the rear view mirror. You break that light when you're walking up. So when you do a passenger side stop, you really don't. So let's just continue with this.
Hey there. Put your hands on the dash.
Yes, sir.
No one reach around, you understand me?
Yes, sir, I understand.
471, I'll take another car, please. 62s. Keep your hands on the fucking dash. You reach down there again and I will shoot you, motherfucker.
That's crazy. Keep it on the dash, bro.
Keep them on the fucking dash. Make it 84. Don't reach for that fucking gun or I'll shoot you, you motherfucker.
He's not going to reach. He's not going to reach. He's not going to reach.
Hey, stay back. Don't reach for that fucking gun. Keep your hands on the motherfucking dash.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Keep your hands. Shots fired. Shots fired.
I got you.
Let's get the 62 and get him out.
Where's it at?
On him. It's right down there on this lap.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's get him out. Get the gun.
Hold on. Slide over
Yep.
so we're not crossfire. Slide.
Hey, watch crowd. Get some more cars for crowd control.
Slide. I'm on him.
You hold him. I got 62.
All right, let's break this down. This is what we call a lawful shoot. Now, the first thing I think we need to change in cop culture is stop calling it a good shoot. And the reason why is we understand what we're talking about with good shoot, but the connotation is the public is like, oh, we're celebrating a shoot. And I don't care. The public will never understand the purpose of doing high fives in the squad room or reliving the situation over and over, and even telling the story as if it was, yeah, man, that guy, that motherfucker, and blah, blah. They're never going to understand it's a way to wind up getting the purge, right? Getting it out of your system. You may high five a million times in the department, retelling stories. I 100% did that. Thank God I was never involved in a shooting. But when you slam somebody on the squad, you take them into custody, bounce their head off the pavement, you retell those stories because we're fucking human beings. The problem is it has gotten to the way of sharing memes and celebrating it on social media and almost taking something that is therapeutic and making it public, and now making cops look as if they are salivating dogs, and the opportunity to commit violence on somebody is the bone that they've been searching for. Can't fucking do it. Can't do it. So we have to change the term from good shoot to lawful shoot. Stop saying good shoot. I need to be a little bit more responsible with that as well, too. Lawful shoot. If we go back down to this, let's go ahead and look over these tactics. I'm going to mute this for a second. We talked about the passenger side approach. I do not know what the cop is called for there or if it was a traffic stop. What I do like is if he's got plain view, which clearly he saw, listen to how he's not freaking out when he sees a weapon.
There. Put your hands on the dash. Yes, sir. No one.
You already automatically saw the passenger. Watch this again. The passenger goes, and what does he do with his left hand?
Put your hands on the dash. Yes, sir.
Brings it down, comes back up. Now, intent-wise, I have no idea what his intent was. It could have been to hide the weapon, right? Could have been to hide the weapon. Don't fucking care. I don't care. I know a lot of my commenters are anti-police and they love to use the whole, oh, officer safety, officer safety. And in some aspects, right, this is what I'm inclined to almost endorse, which is and I'll be racial for a second. If the black community and the liberal whites who are just licking the asses of the black community and celebrating the criminals who didn't do anything when it comes down to law enforcement have such a hard time, what do you call it? Defending the police when it comes down to using force against men or women who are breaking the law by having illegal firearms on there, all this. Why just we don't let them thin the herd? Meaning that if cops are out there if they're it's a trick bag, right? Well, you wouldn't need officer safety if officers weren't putting themselves in a position to pull over these black men and women who have guns. And yes, I don't care who says what. The statistics, the crime rates show that the gun violence in the urban black community is higher than any other culture out there. I'm sorry. If you have a problem with that, then get rid of your FBI numbers, get rid of your department numbers, and actually talk to the men and women who actually do work the streets, and you will understand that culture is directly correlated with crime. And we could talk about that ad nauseum. You will never win that argument if you have never worked the streets or you're not part of this culture. Anyways, I digress again. If you guys are so like, man, let's just get rid of this officer safety shit, then why don't we just let these urban young criminal thugs who just have to have guns as part of their culture thin the herd? Why don't we let them do that? Well, sadly, because there are some still people within these cultures and communities who absolutely do deserve the protective services of law enforcement. So although I do not support, endorse, praise the stupid phrase, well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I don't believe it's the job of the cop to execute, to deliver justice. I believe their job is to keep the peace and maintain order in a free society. I believe that definitely in situations like this, the subject's actions dictated the outcome. Now, if police would just do themselves a favor, shut the fuck up, remain calm and professional in every circumstance, you would have less of a problem with the public who sat there and saw that, yes, you're doing a job. You're not fulfilling an emotional need. Let's continue.
No one reach around. You understand me? Yes.
Gave him clear commands. Don't reach around. Do you understand me? The passenger, let's see if he does it again.
I understand.
Of course, I want to take another car, please.
He starts to slide that hand around again. Lawfully speaking, if the cop saw the pistol, even on the first time, he does not, public. I don't know how to explain this to you, but you better get this through your thick heads. If the cop walked up and saw plain view the pistol from this vantage point, which again, you're not going to see on body camera because the body camera doesn't pick up everything the human eye does and vice versa. If the cop sees this pistol or this does it look like a rifle, and that first, what we talked about here, walking up.
No one reach around. You understand me?
Let's do this.
Hey there.
If the cop sees it, which most likely he did.
There. Put your hands on the dash.
That's probably why he had to put his hands on the dash in the first place.
Yes, sir.
Boom, right there. End of story. The officer had all the lawful authority to use deadly force to terminate life-threatening behavior. That's another thing for all you pro-bootlickers out there. The job of the police officer is not to shoot to kill anybody. It's not to shoot to wound him in the leg. It is to terminate life-threatening behavior. So, what's the life-threatening behavior? This person who is in action reaching for a firearm So what does we need to do? Do we need to pump 1 round into the person? An entire magazine, 14, 15 rounds? You use force necessary to terminate life-threatening behavior. If after 15 rounds, the guy goes, shit, my hands are up and I'm still alive, the threatening behavior is over. If it took 1 round and the guy learned his lesson, all right, I better stop, that you just terminated life-threatening behavior. It is not to shoot to terminate life. That key word is behavior. And if more cops understood that and the public understood that, you would start to be able to break bread at that table. Things would start to get a little bit better. Let's continue.
No one reach around. You understand me?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Of course, I want to take another car, please.
After lawful command, right then and there, the officer had every lawful authority again to terminate life-threatening behavior. I know the public, he doesn't want to give, just can't give him a chance, can't change his tactics, can't back off. There comes a point. Now, keep in mind, I'm extremely pro Second Amendment. I'm extremely, I believe in Indianapolis. This is, excuse me, I don't know where, this is Fort Wayne. I don't know if Fort Wayne has it. Could be statewide. I believe they have open carry in Indiana in some parts, constitutionally wise. Now, trust me, I'm on all sides of this. At what point do we go, well, the Constitution says we get to open carry, cops get to open carry. At what point does it become a conversation and an interaction and a relationship of both the public and the police being able to exercise their Second Amendment? And then at what point does the lawful order of the police officer supersede and trump your constitutional rights? These are all very, very, very organic conversations that need to be had. But the problem is number one, the glaring problem we have is the public and the police, they're against each other. They're fucking against each other. And they don't know how to interact with one another. We don't have a civilized, coexisting society when it comes down to law enforcement and criminal behavior. Let's continue.
Keep your hands on the fucking dash. You reach down there again and I will shoot you, motherfucker.
That's crazy.
Well fucking done, officer. As many of you know, I have a huge problem with the way that cops speak to people. I really do. It should be professional. It shouldn't be condescending. It shouldn't be this and that. It should be whatever. But I do believe you, as a police officer, must speak to the level of what somebody understands. How many commands? So far, 2. This cop gave this subject who's in the passenger seat, actually both of them, the lawful command to put his hands on the dashboard. Twice, the subject did not comply, refused to comply, disobeyed, and actually did a furtive movement as he went down for that weapon. This language is just the officer, again, remember, I'm all about ask, tell, make. This officer is going above and beyond what he needs to do when it comes down to exercising force, either regular use of force or deadly force. He doesn't have to do any of this shit. As far as I'm concerned, he gave this passenger, this subject, a third opportunity to comply by speaking a language maybe he understands. Because if the polite, hey, do me a favor, put your hands on the dashboard didn't work. Keep your hands on the dashboard. Motherfucker, I will shoot you. Notice he didn't say I will kill you. He said I will shoot you. Motherfucker, keep your fucking hands on the Perfect. In my view, the reason why this is also fantastic, and I'm defending the officer every angle here, is the public has no fucking recourse on this one. Oh, he shot him, this, that. No, this gentleman, this subject was given numerous lawful commands so far and numerous opportunities by the police officer to comply with the investigation. We're continuing.
Keep it on the dash, bro.
Keep him on the fucking dash.
Okay, again, and there's the driver telling his friend, here's the deal too, and I don't know toxicology, I don't know liquor. I do know that let's say for argument's sake, a normal, rational human being doesn't want a police officer pointing a gun at them, so they would probably comply, right? So at what point do we start putting into play, all right, it's urban, it's black. We know that the culture of rap and society celebrates booze, weed, drugs. How impaired were they? What is this person so impaired they just cannot fucking seem to obey a police officer's commands? Is the public this to have a responsibility of maybe it's time to address the drug and alcohol issue in these cultures? And that's a glaring reason why a reasonable person would not obey the police in this kind of situation. That's my 2 cents on that. But let's continue.
Make it 84. Don't reach for that fucking gun or I'll shoot you, you motherfucker. Hey, stay back. Don't reach for that fucking gun. Keep your hands on the motherfucking dash.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Keep your
That's it. That's it. Well done, officer. Well done.
hands. Shots fired. Shots fired.
He fired 2 rounds.
I got you.
Let's
Fired 2 rounds into the subject. This was a lawful shoot, recovery of a firearm at the scene in the passenger side's reach purview. I mean, this is very clear cut. The officer was extremely professional. The officer was extremely tactical. The officer was extremely justified. I would be very outraged if the Fort Worth again? It's Fort Wayne, excuse me. The Fort Wayne police department decided that they were going to discipline this officer in any way whatsoever based on this video. Okay, based on this video. That's my 2 cents on that. Guys, the point of these videos is to give breakdown so that the public can return to being a little bit more educated, and the cops can say, okay, well, what did this cop do right? And stop celebrating the shit and stop taking the frustration from, what you guys are getting crucified in the media, what the public does, where your state's attorneys and district attorneys don't fucking back you up. And, we all know how the DA and SA works, right? This guy could have been taken into custody. You've got a fucking, got how many magazines that are loaded, a loaded firearm, one in the chamber, all this shit. You call up your SA or DA and say, hey, listen, this is what I got. This guy's already got a felon. He's a convicted felon. He's got a warrant, blah, blah. Yeah, no, knock it down to a misdemeanor. We already know how that bullshit is done. And this is what the public doesn't know. The public has no idea how a lot of times the state does not want to work with you whatsoever because they just want those conviction rates on the easy shit that they can get, right? Bunch of bullshit. Officer, well done. I'm very sorry you had to be put in this situation, this circumstance. This is why cops, they represent the best of us because, sadly, those who choose to uphold their oath and those who do choose to honor the Constitution, this is a situation you want to be put in ever in your life. And this cop is going to be replaying this in his head over and over and over and over again. And he's going to be worried about his job, what the department's going to do, what the public's going to do. Are there going to be riots? This is all because of the actions of a subject who chose to put themselves in that situation. That's it. So this is something that the police and the public need to start thinking about as far as relationship goes, right? As the public, do I want to obey the law? What am I constitutionally allowed to do? What are the cops allowed to do? Where is this a legal or illegal search and seizure? There's a long road to go on this. And that's the point of these videos. This channel is we are going to change cop culture, and that is done by educating the public. That is done by empowering and educating the police. And the education does come in with empowerment for the public. Do not think I'm anti-public whatsoever. But we have to return to the table. And I do believe, my opinion, the public is too lazy and entitled to do so. The police will have to be the ones to take the first step and do the hard work when it comes back to bridging this relationship between the two. All right, be safe out there, guys. I look forward to your interaction. Don't forget, Thursday nights live, 9 p.m. Central, 10 Eastern. We could talk about this, anything else you like. Be safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next video.